for another video. My name is Josh Kasich, and today is my part 2 for my Pokemon series review. And I know I said in the last video that I'm splitting this in 2 parts, but I actually totally forgot to talk about some details that I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk in the this part or the last part, including the movies. I totally forgot to talk about the movies. So that's going to be in the third part, but without further ado, let's begin. So this series is Pokemon Black and White. I think it's definitely longer than I think any of the previous series. The main villains in the Sinnoh were Team Galactic, and they wanted to create a whole new universe, in the process destroying the other universe with the power of the Lake Guardians, Mesprit, Azelf, and Uxie, which was summon the 2 box legendaries of the series, Palkia and Dialga, and then use the power of Arceus to control all of them in order to create a new world. Obviously, Ash and all of them and the game, plus others like the champion of the Sinnoh, Cynthia, some others, defeat Team Galactic. But yeah, the main villains, and then you got, Unova. It's the same formula, be 8 gym leaders and stuff. His main rival in this series was Trip, and he was annoying because he thought Ash was like, Ash lost to him Trip. He lost to Trip when in the kind of the beginning of the series, Ash had Pikachu, but it was affected by Zekrom, one of the box legendaries of the series, and he this caused Pikachu not be able to use any of his electronic moves, and so Pikachu lost to a level 5 Snivy because Trip, that's his first Pokemon. And this is probably one of the reasons why the show is disliked, and I get it. I don't like this part at all. To me, even if Pikachu couldn't use electronic moves, he still should have beaten a level 5 Snivy with just Iron Tail and Quick Attack alone. But yeah, so after that battle, Trip always looked down on him, but obviously it's one of those things where Ash beats him in the Pokemon League, so that just happens that way. But other than that, he meets a lot of friends along the way. Bianca, I forgot, Stefan, I think something like that. People always messes up his name in this series, so now it's like I don't even remember. But the reason why I also like this series mostly is because Team Rocket was just the best in the beginning of this series. They actually did their jobs. They acted like agents or spies. It was just good. I wish they did that all the time, but unfortunately after this arc for them, they kind of went back to doing what they always do, and it just, it wasn't good. But I mean, the first part was good, but then they went back to what they're doing, and they just really need to be written out of the show. But after that, Ash still lost the Pokemon League, but the series wasn't over yet, because the whole Team Plasma, that's the main villain, actually takes place after the Pokemon League instead of before the Pokemon League. And they wanted to take over, they wanted to control Reshiram and stuff like that. And then they meet a guy named N as well, who has a interesting plot where he doesn't like Pokemon battles, but he learns Ash and all their feelings, and he understands them. But and he also has a past with the leader of Team Plasma and stuff. So, but yet again, it's one of those things where all of them were able to defeat Team Plasma, but then they kind of continue journey. Silent and Irish kind of journey with Ash to go back to Kanto, but like on like a vacation type thing, so they visit different islands along the way. But once they got back to Kanto, they both kind of Silent and Iris and all of them kind of went separate ways because they had different goals, what they wanted to do. Iris wanted to go train under the Dragon Gym Leader of Johto, and then I forgot what Silent went off to do, but it was definitely an interesting ending. It's really sad about when every series, all these different series ends, because you're journeying with all these friends, and but then just see Ash leave and all of them leave, and you're not gonna see them journey with each other, and you have to say bye to these characters. It's really hard. That's like one of the saddest part about like all the going to each series, saying bye to characters that are, and but that's another thing. And then the next series, he goes into X and Y, where he meets Clement and Bonnie. Clement is the fifth gym leader in the region, and he is the gym leader of Lumio City. And Bonnie is his 8-year-old 8-year-old sister. I don't know what I was about to say. That was, and they kind of journey with them, and then they had Serena join the group, and she doesn't know, she's one of those things that she likes Pokemon, that's not her problem, but she didn't know what she wanted to do as a Pokemon trainer, but she learns that she wants to be a Pokemon performer, which is kind of like contest, where you kind of show off your Pokemon, but it's a little different because the first round you have this like event type thing that I have to do, like you have to make puffins or dress your Pokemon in a style, and the second round you kind of just dance around and do stuff, and you just show off your Pokemon. So it's a little bit different, but that's what she wanted to do. And this, by far, X and Y is probably my favorite series, and I also love the romantic subplot. I wish it would be fleshed out more, but there's a romantic subplot. Serena really likes Ash, like romantically. It was very obvious. And at the end of the series, they even kiss at the end. Although in the English dub, they cut it out, which is really annoying. But apparently in the Japanese, they do actually kiss. But it's very obvious that they kiss based on how they did it. But yeah, it's one of those things. Ash, gets the same gym badges. And Pikachu's still with him throughout the entire series. He goes to the Pokemon League. He gets all the way to the end. He actually makes it to the final. Like, this is the first time actually being in the finals, but he still loses to Elaine. Now, Mega Evolution was introduced in the series as well as fairy types, but they're definitely. I think this X and Y is the best series altogether for writing, just character development. Everything is just the best with this series. Definitely one of my favorites. I think Johto is probably my least favorite one. I do enjoy the Indigo League. My problems obviously with the animation and some of the writing. The reason why Johto is not my favorite, because it's just kind of really the same thing as the first. Like, it doesn't really change up. It still has that weird low quality, like not that good quality animation. The writing is still like the same and everything. So it's just more of the same with the first series. But Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, X and Y, they all change it up, and quality wise, it just got better as it went on. And like I said, X and Y is the best, I think, quality, story, writing, and everything. I think it's that good. I think Hoenn was definitely a big improvement over the first two series of Pokemon. Sinnoh was even more, and Unova I think was a little bit under Sinnoh and Hoenn for like writing wise, but it was still really good. And X and Y was just the best, I think, overall. And then you got Series 7, Alola. I have several problems with Alola. I think the writing dropped considerably. It wasn't as good as X and Y. The animation quality was not the art style that they chose was bad. The animation, I think, like movement stuff was definitely a lot better than it has been. But the art style was just horrible. It was it's hard to watch it, but I definitely got used to it. I think that's one of my main problems with it. The other problems with it are Ash basically Ash was like a more mature character in X and Y, and then he kind of turned into kind of his boyish character again. And then he goes to Pokemon school because there's no gym battles in this region. You have to have Pokemon trials and stuff like that. It's like, why is Ash going to Pokemon school? Why they all act like children? I mean, they are children 10, but it's just kind of an opposite of what you usually see from Pokemon. From watching all the series, it's just the opposite. It's just I can't. It's really hard to stand it. Not only that, I do, but other than that, I got used to it. I did enjoy the characters. I grew to like the characters and everything. And I think it's even cool that they even show a wedding. No kiss or anything like that, as usual. But they did have a wedding between Professor Kukui and Professor Brunette, which is really interesting. Even at the end of the series, they show a baby bump. They show her that she's having a baby near the end of the series. And that was very interesting. So they will show a baby bump, but they won't show a kiss. What? Come on. I mean, kids wouldn't understand what the baby bump implies, but it's very obvious how babies. If you understand how babies are made, it's a very implies that they did, the deed, obviously. And so it's like, okay, so you're going to have a baby bump, but you won't have a kiss. What is wrong with kiss? I mean, I know some kids are grossed out of that, but a kiss is just a kiss. I mean, they see their parents kiss. It's not showing a kiss is not it's not. It's like they act like kissing is not a kid-friendly thing. It's just a kiss. Come on, people. Stop trying to hide kisses or stuff from even shows that are meant for teenagers, like Shonen Jump anime. They don't. They do so much show kissing, but they don't really develop these love interest things. I'm like, why? I could understand why you won't develop the love interest stuff in more kid-friendly stuff, but even in a show that's meant for teenagers to adults, you gotta be kidding me. But that's just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, one little kiss is not going to hurt a child. I mean, seriously, stop cutting it off. In X and Y for say. But that's my thing. But yeah, and then there's this one episode called about Dupiter, but they pronounced it as Dupiter. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Watching it on television, I wanted to erase that episode. I didn't want to watch it. I wanted to take a knife to my ears and plug it out because it's just that bad. Dupiter, that is not the name of the Pokemon. It is Dupiter. It's pronounced Dupiter, not Dupiter. It's like they go to a random kid. Hey kid, what's the name of this thing? Stupider. Oh wait. Stupider is not a word slang. Then pronounce it Dupiter. Or they said stupider, and then it's like, oh, stupider. Okay, we'll translate that to Dupiter. It's like, what? That's so. It's like, what? Okay, whatever. I don't know. It was a stupid episode. I just say it was a total drop in quality versus X and Y. It's definitely not one of my favorite series, but they created a Pokemon League for Alola, and Ash finally won a Pokemon League, so that was pretty good. Also, another problem I have with the writing in the final, you have this rivalry between Professor Kukui's Incineroar and Ash's Litten, which evolved into a Torracat, and Torracat beat Incineroar in the after Ash beat the League, he gets to face the Master Royal, which was revealed to be Professor Kukui, which isn't really a big reveal because we already knew that in the game, so it wasn't really a big reveal. But he faces Professor Kukui, and after that, and Torcat finally beats Incineroar, and then evolves into an Incineroar, and then it faints after it evolved. And then Ash never uses the Incineroar until at all after that, because the series just kind of ends a few episodes after that. What? You're talking about Incineroar. Incineroar is definitely one of my favorite starters, and Ash finally got it, or final evolved forms of starter, and Ash finally got it, and it didn't get any battle whatsoever. I mean, it's one of my literally Pokemon I use for my channel logo. So it's like, wow, I don't even know what to say about that. That was really bad in my opinion. But whatever, I'm not going to go really into that. But yeah, like I said, it's quality, and so that's pretty much all my thought. That's pretty much everything about the entire series, or at least 1 through 7. Like I said, I don't know much about 8. All I know is there's not really a Pokemon League, and it's not really a region per se. He's actually going through each region in a world tournament type thing, but I don't know much about the details and everything. Oh, I forgot to mention Misty and Brock do return in Season 7. That's pretty much it. And they kind of did that where Misty returned into Hoenn, then May kind of returns into Sinnoh, Dawn returns into Unova, but then Iris, they kind of stopped that after that because Iris and Silent didn't make a return in X and Y, so they kind of stopped that. But Misty and Brock do show up in Series 7, so I thought that was kind of an interesting detail. Misty's still the gym leader, Brock's still learning to become a Pokemon doctor. So, but yeah, like I said, that's kind of all my views for each series. I've enjoyed the first series, even though it is just trash by any means necessary, with writing, quality, everything. But I enjoy it. Second series was, I think, better, but it was more of the same, and that's why I don't like it much. I think then I would say Lola is probably... How would I put this? I would probably put Johto, then I would put Johto as I'm not really a big fan of it. Indigo League, no, do I like Indigo League more than Alola, or do I like Alola more than Indigo League? I think I actually do like Alola more than Indigo League, just a bit. So I'd say Indigo League, then Alola, then Unova, then I don't know. I would say I might say X and Y is my favorite, so I would probably go Hoenn, Sinnoh, and then X and Y being at the top. But I also really do enjoy Sinnoh, and Unova, X and Y, and Hoenn could be all 4 of those can really be interchanged because they're really all my favorite ones. I like them all, but. That's kind of my honest opinion on them. I do recommend Pokemon. I think it's a very interesting series. Obviously, it's probably for more little children. I mean, I get that, but I grew up watching Pokemon. It's something that's always going to be with me, and stuff like that. So, I do. If you want to find like an interesting anime that's fun, weird at times, and interesting, I definitely would recommend Pokemon. Other than that, and that's pretty much it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified from the next upload. My YouTube channel, website link, my Twitter, my Snapchat, and Instagram are all in the description as always. And thank you. Goodbye.